Welcome back, everybody, to episode 33 of Couples Coverage. I'm your host, Nicholas Moriano, and joined, as always, is my beautiful fiance, Stephanie Bonce. What's up, baby?
Hello. I'm back to, downgraded back to girlfriend because I don't have my ring with me right now.
Yes, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. There's a reason why you don't have your ring.
He took it from me.
I took it from you. A piece of you has left, but you'll get that back soon enough. But we will get into that. But before we get into this entire episode, make sure you like and subscribe to the Couples Coverage Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a comment. Leave us a like. Share this podcast with a friend, a couple, your mom and dad. Who cares? Just send it to somebody. Share it. And then also, if you're someone who listens to the podcast, the audio version, we're on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, not iTunes. That's like
also on
I guess is it still iTunes?
I guess like Apple Music, right?
iTunes is not. Is iTunes even a thing anymore?
It is. I think there's still like an iTunes
Okay,
store.
well, Apple Podcasts.
Store?
You'll find us there.
Oh, who knows?
And anywhere you really listen to your podcast, you will find us there. Like, subscribe. And then on social media as well, on Instagram and TikTok, which have been a little non-existent, but give us a follow there as well.
Yeah, we're gonna you know what, we say this
the
a lot,
thing is,
but we're gonna start putting it on the calendar. So
you're a calendar person.
I'm a calendar person. If it's not on the calendar, it's not gonna happen. So I just need to start putting like
you just need to see
days
like
for actual
get this done.
Yeah.
Like, even if it just says couples coverage, like social media or something like that, you just need to visualize it, see it.
Yeah.
And we have a calendar right above our kitchen table.
Well,
right
we're gonna have to
it.
move that and maybe put it here or something so I can like physically see it.
There is nothing on that wall. You guys can't see that, but maybe.
Yeah.
Nice little addition.
Anyways, thanks for the intro. Episode 33. Hopefully that's right. I don't know.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Usually I look before we do these.
So we really don't know.
We're gonna go for it. No.
I want to say it is 33
because last time it was 32. So this one has to
Great
be 33.
explanation.
This one has to be 33 because the last one was 32. So that's how numbers work.
You can tell we haven't done this in a while. It feels a little bit funny to record.
No, we're professionals. What are you talking about?
You are.
No, we are. We are couples coverage.
No, I know, but you're just used to just jumping in and recording.
Spewing nothing.
Yeah,
no, just kidding.
for hours at a time.
Spewing nothing for hours at a time?
No, I mean.
Wow.
I mean, for an hour a day?
I spew nothing for an hour a day for 5 days a week. See? Doesn't get better every explanation.
I'm just trying to say, you record a podcast for an hour each day.
With
and
no
you're
substance.
used to just you're the one throwing that in there.
But
I
yeah,
didn't say that.
yeah. Well, let's get things started here. Like, we're just coming off actually we're still currently, as we're recording, it's Sunday, so it's still kind of like the 4th of July extended long weekend. It seems like this has gone on forever. I don't know. It feels like a super long weekend right now.
You're right. It almost. Well, technically, I worked on Friday again. I know some people don't like work until that next Monday, which is nice. But unfortunately for me, I had to work on Friday. So I had it felt like a weekend on 4th of July, had to go back to work Friday, and then was off again. So it almost felt like I had like a weird short week. Friday felt like my short little week.
Yeah.
So it was a busy day. But anyways, so yes, hopefully everyone had a good 4th of July weekend. We actually got to go to the Arlington Heights parade.
Oh yeah,
which is a lot of fun.
It was like there was three. There was Arlington Heights, Wheeling, and Buffalo Grove all in the same parade. So it was like a gigantic parade going down in the middle of Arlington Heights.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if they had their own parade too. Like each city kind of has their own little parades, right? But I wonder if they had their own.
So close.
They are really close. But some of the floats were like businesses from Wheeling that maybe were participating in our parade because it was bigger.
Ooh, our parade. Does that sound weird to say? Like that was our parade because we're in Arlington Heights. Like I still think of like Waukegan, like that would be our.
And the thing is, I don't think I ever went to the parade in Waukegan.
a 4th of July. I have no idea if I did. I'm sure I had. Yeah, I think I've gone down at least once or twice.
Really? But no, it doesn't feel weird, but it was cool to see it for the first time because we didn't go last year. I think this is because now we're kind of like settled into Arlington Heights. Now we kind of know more about like certain events that are happening and things that we look forward to in the summer. So this is the first time we actually went to it. And it was so cool to see that many people out and like the neighborhood just feels so like nice. And it felt like, oh, I feel so lucky that we live here.
Yeah, it was cool seeing all the different floats. There were some really interesting floats. I forgot what the group was, but all the bugs. There's like people dressed up as like giant bugs, and like it got really. I think it was for a reading club, wasn't it? It was something reading, and there were all these bugs that were. Or is that
no, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know exactly what the float was for. But it was just cool to see like all the people out. And 4th of July is such a fun, like holiday to me. But now you have mixed feelings about it, right? You said you used to love 4th of July.
Yeah, 4th of July it was up there with like Christmas, Thanksgiving for me because of like what we used to do. My uncles and I and my cousins, we would all go to a place in Wisconsin, and they would go crazy with buying a bunch of fireworks, $500 worth, and you buy one firework, you get one free. Or if you buy smaller ones, you get 2 free. So it would just be, we would have our own like fireworks show.
Yeah.
And love, just blowing up fireworks. There was one year where we had a Scooby-Doo piñata, and we blew the head off of Scooby-Doo, and, R.I.P. Scooby-Doo piñata. But it has changed now that and as we're recording, Brady is literally underneath the Couples Coverage podcast being Brady. Like, he hates it. I hate how it makes him feel, but I don't blame the people that blow I honestly don't, because I was those kids at one point. I loved fireworks. Yeah. I loved putting on a show. I loved, getting the lighter and running away, and as everything goes up in the air. So I don't blame them. I just hate what it does to Brady. He's like shaking, and he's literally looking up into the air, waiting for the next firework to pop off.
Yeah.
And, we have to give him, like, some medicine and stuff. It's just, ugh.
As we've, like, mentioned, we have a very nervous dog as it is. So just this holiday on top of it just makes it, like, so much worse. So, you know what, though? I saw a lot of videos like that where it's like, yes, it sucks for the dogs. But also, like you said, you can't blame people because people, like, are enjoying themselves and having fun.
Yeah.
And they just have to kind of, like, I don't know, get through it for the day and the next couple of days, and it'll be fine. But it does kind of suck to see him so scared like that.
It does. And I mean, again, I don't blame people for it. I just hope it doesn't have like, well, maybe it lasts. Yeah, just because it is like a traumatic time for all the dogs, really. Like, what dogs love fireworks? None.
No. There's some that don't care. Some dogs don't care.
Those dogs are crazy. Well, yeah, I feel like a large majority, though, just don't like the sound of obviously loud exploding things that you're just constantly going on the 4th of July. But it is a fun holiday, and we had a fun time. That was July 4th when we were at your parents' house.
Yeah.
So we got to go to your parents' house and hang out with your family for a little bit.
Yes, we always usually do like a family cookout 4th of July, and my dad will usually like grill something.
He grills, man, like those al pastor tacos, fire, so good. I think who was it that had like 8 tacos? It wasn't your brother.
Somebody did.
Somebody had 8 tacos. Now I'm like, no, it wasn't your sister's.
That used to be my favorite. My dad's tacos are so good.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, so it's always fun to have like family over for that holiday. And then I'm trying to think. I'm not going to say too much, but it was also a really fun day because I hadn't seen family since we got engaged. So then that was kind of fun to like, I wasn't sure if people knew, and I don't know. I don't have like Facebook, whereas I feel like that's usually where people have a lot of family on social media is like Facebook, and I don't have it. So like I feel like a lot of my side didn't know until that day that we were engaged. So that was kind of exciting to share. And then also like there was other family news I'm not going to like share too much about, but there was other news and stuff. So it was just such a good day overall. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
And you know what? Shout out to your sister, you know, landing her job, like getting a job. That was really exciting news for everybody to hear too. Yeah. So that was awesome. Yeah, it was a really good day. A lot of
big
news.
Events, like big news to share with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it just felt like such a good day, and I came home and I was like, oh, this is so crazy. Like, and then I think that night I was like, was it that night? No, this was yesterday when I was telling you how crazy it is. Just with like time is such a weird thing to me, and this is what I was telling you about yesterday, where it's like one day we're gonna look back and this is what we're gonna remember. Like we're gonna remember these times. So just trying to like always appreciate it, or like really soak it in when there's these big life moments happening, because I know we're gonna look back on it one day.
And that too, like you never think when you're younger, oh, I'm gonna be married one day. Oh, I'm gonna do this, do that, and then, like you said, like when we're having this conversation, you get there and you're experiencing those things that you thought would be
forever away,
way down the line.
Yeah,
but they're here now.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy. What was also crazy is that during when we were at your parents', your brother and I were going at it in chess.
Oh.
It was a huge... Well, one, we had played one time previously, and we tied, basically. We both had our kings, and like there was no winning. No one was going to win that game. So it was a 1-1. We played another game. I took that one. You know, it was a good game, but, you know, I did my thing there, and then your brother... Omar, he got me.
Wait, you guys played a third one?
Played 3 total games, but we played 2 on the 4th of July. I won 1, your brother won 1, so there is another very anticipated chess match. We can like live stream and make money and everything. These are big things. So
I was like, who
really
brings chess on the 4th of July? It's like I was picturing like the Beersby game or like bags, and here you guys are, like no one's talking, everyone's like focused playing the chess game. I'm like, let me know when you guys
yeah, it's not like chess 2 is like a game that I like normally play, because I don't even think we have a chess board or anything. We don't have a chess board here or anything, and literally the last 3 times I played have all been with your brother, and then previously to that I don't know when the last time I played chess, but I do enjoy it now.
Yeah.
It is kind of fun. So it's definitely not a 4th of July game.
Yeah,
but we played it on 4th of July, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. So anyways, glad you had fun. It was a fun time. But before that, we kind of have like some catching up to do, because I was out of town for a bachelorette party for our friend Gabby, who's getting married next month. That's next month already. Can you believe it?
Holy crap.
I know.
Yeah, we still got some things to do for that wedding.
Yeah, we do. But that's coming up. So we were in Charleston, and what?
I was like, oh, and you were in Nashville, Tennessee. Like, no, you weren't.
I was not.
You were in South Carolina. Like, that was the last bachelorette party. You were in Nashville.
Yes.
I don't know what.
Yeah. So
South
Charleston, that was really fun. And we got to go to the beach, and we had like theme nights, which were really fun. Also, that kind of, whenever I have these little like getaways with other people when you're not involved, because obviously we've gone out of town together, but whenever I go with other people, I always think to myself, like, I wonder if this is what like the college experience would have been, because you're rooming with other people, you're like sharing a space with everyone else, and then you go out for the night and have fun. So it kind of gives me an idea of like what like college life would have been. I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good way of looking at it. You know, not all the times, obviously, you're going to go out with your roommates. Sometimes do their own thing. But, yeah, you get ready. Like, if you're pre-gaming, all right, we're going to go out on this night. And, you know, you're pre-gaming, then you go out, and then you all come back and are all eating junk food late at night or whatever. Yeah, no, I think a bachelor party, if you didn't, like, go away to college and do that, like, that would be a way to kind of experience what that shared space would be like, and where you go out and just have a good time.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. And Charleston is such a cute little like town down there. So I don't know. I would love to go back. It was really hot, so I almost felt like a lot of times we were like, okay, where can we go that's inside?
Yeah.
Because it was really, really hot. But no, I really, really enjoyed it. And you actually went to a bachelor party. I think this was before the engagement, so we kind of like didn't get to really talk about that much because the next episode that we had was like the proposal one, and which was like our last one. But yeah, you didn't really get to talk about yours.
No, not really. But actually, before we share like a couple things from the bachelor party, what was your highlight from the bachelorette party? Like the number one thing when you think back on it, like you enjoyed what the most?
Well, I enjoyed seeing how much fun Gabby was having because this was like for her. This was to celebrate her and you know like their wedding coming up and stuff. So to me, like the highlight was like seeing how happy and how much fun she had. That's kind of what it was about. Yeah.
That's exactly what it's about. For the bachelor party, we went to New Orleans. It was a group of, I'm trying to remember everybody. Let's just say 8, even though I don't know if that's
8 to 10 people probably.
Yeah. If I could probably name them all, but, we had a good group of guys and we had I think it was like actually technically 4-story like Airbnb with like a terrace on top.
Did you say this is in New Orleans?
This is in New Orleans. Okay. Yep, New Orleans. And we had like a shared pool and stuff. But the bachelorette party was longer than the bachelor party.
Yeah, we did like 4 days down there.
Yeah, and in New Orleans, like we technically did like 2 days because we got there Friday and then we had all day Saturday and then Sunday everybody left. And that's all, honestly, if you've been to New Orleans or haven't been, that's all you need because there is just a lot that happens. But that Friday, a lot of people went down on, Bourbon Street, the French Quarter, and just a lot of drinking. We went to a cool distillery. Like, we did, like, a tour.
Yeah.
And I'm not that big into, like, whiskey and all, like, I don't know, but the process of how they make all this stuff and like the history of it's like really elaborate and like crazy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool, and you got like free tastings on each level of different types of liquor.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. But yeah, a lot of drinking. There was also the Pride Parade was going on at that time too.
Yeah.
So, and there was a huge Pokemon convention going on too. I don't think we saw as many because you see a lot of people in New Orleans. You see just the normal locals, and then you have the Pride Parade, and then I was thinking like some Pikachu stripper was going to be walking down like Bourbon Street or something. I didn't see that.
Sexy Pikachu.
A sexy Pikachu. And it's like, yep, it's New Orleans. It makes sense. But yeah, it was good. We got to, it was nice that the best man planned a lot of the things that were happening so that we had like a schedule, like here, we're going to eat, we're going to do this, we're going to go here.
How do you say it?
What?
What do you call that?
Oh, itinerary. Itinerary. What do I put in?
You put the like itinerary.
Itinerary.
But I don't know if that's right. I just have always said itinerary because itinerary.
That's a weird word for me.
Yeah.
That's a weird word for me. Like it doesn't matter how many times you tell me that I'm saying it wrong.
That's like, what's the word for me that I can't say?
You can't say, gosh, I can't remember but it's gonna pop up because I can't remember.
There's like a certain word that I cannot say, and whenever I do say it, it sounds weird.
I'm sure everybody has like a word like that, even if it's like super simple or super simple somewhere else. It's like I just can't say that with like
cleanly. And it's like right there. I don't know what it is though.
Permission? No.
Something like with the S in it. Precision. That's the one. Precision.
Precision, like precision accuracy. Yeah, that's what it is.
Right? It's that one?
Precision.
Precision. It's such a struggle for me to say it. But I forget what you're saying.
Itinerary?
Itinerary. That's how I say it.
There was one which really helped because the last time I went to New Orleans for a bachelor party, It was like a shit show. Like,
can you talk about how you guys sent? This is so dangerous. How you guys sent your friend out in the rain to try to fix the power.
yeah. So okay, this was for my buddy Nick's bachelor party, and we had an Airbnb, and there was a crazy rainstorm that happened and knocked out the power, and we were already drunk basically at the time inside the Airbnb, and we sent arguably the most drunk friend.
That is
well,
so
he kind of.
messed up.
I want to say, Edwin, you're amazing. I think he may have volunteered too, so that it's okay. You go out there. So going out there, looking at the electric box or whatever, already drunk. It's raining. Probably it's all three of those things. Not a really good combination for success.
You know what though? Okay, realistically, like a power box or whatever, that's fine. If he was messing with wires,
no.
No.
Yeah, that would be terrible. But that time there was no itinerary. Maybe I said it right. And again, it was a free for all. We're just gonna go here, get drunk. We didn't eat much.
Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about though, because I realized that like bachelor parties, guys just go so intense. At least from what I've seen, it's like a guy's bachelor party is always going to be so intense. I forget who it was that we were talking to while we were like in Charleston. Somebody's boyfriend was like, for my bachelor party, the only itinerary there's going to be is everyone get as drunk as you can and everyone for themselves.
Oh, wow. That was the first one.
And I'm like, because also you guys, there was a schedule, but a lot of times you guys weren't all together, right? There was times or sometimes you guys separated or someone wanted to go check something else out and you guys kind of got separated. And for a bachelorette party, like I can't imagine us going different ways or like unless someone has to go make a trip somewhere real quick to like the store or whatever. That's the only time I can imagine us like separating. But other than that, like the group stays together. Yes, we go and like have fun. But I think for the most part, it's like the bachelorette is the one who's going to be like, yes, keep going. Like have more drinks. But like as far as us, like our job in my eyes is like, let's make sure she's having fun. She's got a drink in her hand or whatever. But I don't see us getting as crazy as the guys get.
I think, well,
but I guess it depends, right?
I think it depends
on the friend groups and stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. There was this most recent bachelor party in New Orleans was more tame, I guess, than the first one. Because I think the first one kind of described every man for themselves. People are getting drunk. I think that was even almost a bigger group too, and my brother was a part of that. And like, people were getting drunk and knocking, not making it throughout the end. And it was I think we stayed longer too.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, arguably hotter, which is crazy. But I mean, I wonder if it's like that for. There's bachelorette parties that go crazy too,
That's
like
true.
crazy. But I think it's smart that the group would stay together, because sometimes, you can easily get lost and be in a bad spot in New Orleans if you're not with your group. So you guys are just smarter. I mean, maybe just party a little harder.
Yeah,
at times.
But you're right. I think it also does depend on the group. But also, like, if you're staying for longer, like, you have to kind of pace yourself, because at the same time, like, you're traveling somewhere, you want to make sure you get the most out of your experience. And if you get drunk and like can't go out for the night, like you traveled all the way here and now you can't make it out. So
I mean, so it wasn't because I drank too much that after the first night I ended up getting sick, and I was sick for an entire week afterwards. But that was hitting me on Saturday night, so I actually called it early, and I just had to go in early while the guys were still, most of them were out there doing their thing, and I was in bed getting ready to pack and go out for what was my 5 a.m. flight.
Yeah, so
are you gonna say it's your crazy get back to home story real quick?
Yeah, I can share mine. So getting back was the craziest airport experience that I've ever had so far. So I was gonna have what is it called when you have like, a connecting flight. So I was going to go from Charleston to, now I forget where I was going. And then from there back to Chicago. And that middle point where I was going had a really, really, really big storm.
Yeah.
So actually that last day, part of our group had already gone home because that last day, it's like everyone had different flights and stuff. So that last day was really, really chill. And my flight wasn't until 9 or 8 p.m., let's say.
Yeah, later in the day.
With your mom working in the airport and stuff and being able to kind of help, she kind of like said, well, you know, like if you're trying to get back home. Oh, because that last day I was getting sick too. Like, I think it was just being outside in the heat and then going inside, and everywhere you went inside was like freezing, and that temperature change was like making me not feel good. So if I could have gotten an earlier flight, like that would have been perfect, because by that point we were kind of done. Like people were already starting to head home that last day.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So you guys told me like, well, go and see if you can make this 4 p.m. flight. So I got to the airport, and it ended up working out. Like there were seats available, and I was going to be able to take this early flight. And
that flight was going to, this is a connecting flight, so it was taking
it was
where?
Still connecting flight. I can't remember exactly where my middle point was.
Okay.
But the point is, I was going to make this 4 p.m. flight, and then that flight ended up getting delayed, which was fine. It looked like it was delayed for about an hour. So kind of wait around, and now it's time to board again. We get on the plane, and I finally tell you, and I message you like, okay, finally on the plane. I'm good. I should be getting home a lot earlier now.
Yeah.
And I'm on the plane, and all of a sudden they're taking us back to the gate, and they're saying,
you have to deboard.
Yeah, you have to get off the flight or get off the plane, and there's a ground stop in my middle point where I was supposed to go. So like no flights could go in or out. So it was the first time I'd ever experienced like boarding a plane and now like getting right back out. And you know what? I was glad though, because my entire day after that was spent at the airport with flights getting delayed and delayed and delayed, like another 2 hours, now another 3 hours. Now we don't know when, and no flights are going to leave probably until 8. And then also hearing like you might not be able to get a flight until Tuesday, and this was a Sunday.
Did you think you were gonna have to stay there at any point?
I didn't. I did kind of freak out a little bit, but I was like, there's no way that I won't be able to get a flight until Tuesday. Like that sounds crazy. But they were telling people that. So at that point I was so like stressed out and tired, and I still wasn't feeling that great, and I hadn't eaten because all I had was breakfast, and I wasn't expecting to be at the airport all day long. And I was like really close to having like a breaking point, but I've never seen the airport so like hectic and chaotic, and people like visibly frustrated everywhere. And the lines to even just talk to the people at the gate were like way down. And you also couldn't really leave because there was updates constantly happening. Like every 10 minutes, the time on like the boarding would change. Like every 10 minutes it would change. So like you don't want to leave your gate because you don't want to miss updates. So it was like I couldn't even go get food because I'm like, I have to stay here and see what's going to happen. And yeah, it was just a very like interesting way to see the airport. I've never seen it like that.
Yeah, I mean that's the worst way to see the airport too, especially because you don't know when you're getting on your flight. Everyone doesn't know when they're getting on their flight. There's all this chaos and unknown going on.
Everyone was like asking each other stuff, like, do you know, like, what should I do? Like my like some woman came up to me and she was like, I have my baby here and they still have my luggage on board, so like I don't know like what to do. So yeah, it was a lot, and I kept calling you like, I'm so stressed out, I don't know what's gonna happen. I thought I was gonna be there, so it ended up coming home later than my original flight.
Yeah,
that was at 8 p.m. I ended up coming home a lot later. I didn't get to bed until like 2 that day.
Yep, I got you at the airport around
like 1:30,
1 something in the morning. But you made it back, and I'm so glad you did. And you know, my mom was updating me like now you just honestly have to wait it out. It's Mother Nature. That's it. Literally, as we're recording, it's downpouring right now. I mean, that's what it was. The weather was affecting all these flights, and you couldn't get out. But I was texting my mom like, "Mom, she gonna get out or what?" Like I wasn't mad, but I'm like, wow, there's nothing I can do. I can try to put her on a different flight, but no, there's nothing I can do. And, there wasn't. She couldn't do anything, really, and she just had to wait, and you got out, and, hey, you got home. You didn't have to get home until Tuesday like they were saying, but it wasn't the best experience for sure. Yeah.
But it was fine. Like, obviously it was just, I can't imagine people who are traveling with their families and how stressful that must be. So honestly, the fact that I was by myself and only had to worry about myself, like, I can't really complain. It was fine.
That's true. We are going to give an update on, well,
yeah, 1 second. Hold on. Actually, before, were you going to do the ad break?
I was going to do the ad break.
We're going to do an ad break because I didn't really get to mention that on our last day there, we had a theme night, which was like a dinner, and we were getting ready for dinner, and I got a scary text message. But we're gonna go and
okay. Before we get to what that text message was,
did you forget about that?
I did because, I did. I have to tell everybody about Owen. It stands for Only What You Need. If you're looking for a awesome protein shake, you got to check out this awesome brand. One, if you want 32 grams of protein, you get that in the Elite Protein Shakes. 100% plant-based, no net carbs, non-GMOs, 100% gluten-free. Owen is the way to go, and they have so many great flavors. This is No Nut Buttercup, which has a little bit of that peanut butter flavor if you're a big fan of peanut butter like I am. Chocolate, there's strawberry, banana. And they also have protein shakes that have just 20 grams of protein. If you don't want to have or feel too full on the protein, you can get those alternatives as well. I always have one after every single workout. Really convenient, especially the pre-made shakes. You just open it up, shake it. I think it says shake vigorously, and you're good to go for your protein shakes. But you have to check it out for yourself. You go to liveowen.com. Check out all the great products they have. Fill up your cart. And then if you use the promo code COUPLEGOALS, you actually save 15% off your first purchase. So once you do that, it actually helps us out too. You get a discount. You get your Owen shakes. It's a win-win-win situation for everybody. So go check out Owen, which stands for Only What You Need.
Thanks, Owen.
Okay, let's get to that text message because I completely forgot about this. This is on your second to last day.
So Saturday night we had just a group dinner, and it was all going great, having a great time, and I get a message from you. And I almost want to read it, but I also don't want to read it.
No, you can't. I was going to get my phone and read it, but I forgot my phone is actually recording over there. But yes, this sucked. But I could have worded this a lot better in the moment when I texted you, but I just didn't, and that's my fault.
Okay. So, also, can I just just a side note here. I usually am a big worrier, and I always immediately, I don't know why, I tend to think of the worst. So getting a message like this always freaks me out. And actually, you know what? This is not the first time I've gotten a message like this while I'm away. So I was like, great, now what? Because I think there was one time where I was vacationing with my family, and then you told me that your dad got into a car accident, and I was like, what?
Oh.
And
wow.
I also wasn't home for that, and you told me everything was fine and stuff, and he's a little sore, but overall he was fine. But yeah, that also happened while I was away.
I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah. So okay.
This is a text message that I sent to you while you were still in South Carolina enjoying your dinner. And I was on a trip with a bunch of my colleagues and people that followed CHGO Sports, going to a Cubs game, bus trip from the casino in Waukegan.
Was it a Cubs game or Brewers game?
Cubs first Brewers.
Oh.
Cubs first Brewers game. So going from the casino in Waukegan to Milwaukee, I don't know, what, an hour drive? Not too crazy, but we're going on the bus there. And this is after the game had ended. I sent you this text.
So having dinner here, and it says, please don't freak out, but there was an escalator that malfunctioned at the Brewers game. There are about 10 people that got injured, and I was one of them. Ben and Jimmy made it out okay, but I'm good. My knee should be all right, just a little sore. On the bus now, heading back to Waukegan. Please have fun with the girls. I'll be good. I'll probably just visit the doctor if any more pain comes up. So, but hold on, me reading like, please don't freak out, but there was an accident. I was like, immediately like went into panic. I was like, oh my God, what happened?
The first sentence makes you want to panic because I say, please don't panic, right?
Yeah.
But what happened after the Cubs-Brewers game, going down an escalator from the 4th level of the ballpark down, an escalator essentially malfunctioned. It going at its normal speed, went 3 times its speed, and another guy at CHGO like explained it really well. Well, imagine a car going at 20 miles per hour goes 3 times as fast and then crashes. So a 20 mile per hour ride becomes a 60 mile per hour. It's like 3 times, even if it's just escalator speed, is pretty significant. I'm like, 3 times is, it was fast. And I was about halfway down this huge escalator going from the 4th level all the way down. I think technically that would have been the 2nd level. So it went down and I was halfway and people are piling on top of each other on right where you get off the escalator. There's screaming and people are obviously in pain, and I almost wanted to jump off this thing because I showed you a video of an escalator where, it's going down and then it malfunctions and then it basically bottoms out and there's nothing, like people can fall through in the escalator. I'm like, okay, I'm not about to get eaten by an escalator and get, I don't know, whatever happens down there. So I get up on the railing. I think I'm going to jump, but still the railing's going down. And by the time I even thought about it or really wanted to do it, I'm at the bottom. I fall. I'm on the ground. And then like 3 or 4 people get on top of me. And then all this time I'm like, hey, I'm good. I'm almost in like a push-up position, kind of keeping, I don't know, my chest off the ground. All I'm saying is like, I'm good. I'm good.
So there weren't people under you?
No, I don't know how. So that's when I was replaying that, I don't know how I ended up at the bottom when people already started piling up. That was, as I was like thinking about it, like, how did I end up at the bottom though when I was halfway and there was a good amount of people in front of me? I guess you could go more to the right, but I ended up on the bottom and 4 people were on the back of my legs. And like I said, I'm kind of in push-up position saying, I'm good, my knees are good. And then someone grabs me by the arms and kind of drags me out. And then...
Random person?
Yeah, random person, just people trying to help other people out as people are constantly piling on each other. And then like this elderly woman screaming, and like that was terrifying to hear. And then I look back, there's blood on the escalator. And then it eventually stops, the escalator. And like then it's like the aftermath. Some people are injured. I had a coworker who got pretty banged up in his knee. My leg was like hurting, starting to get stiff. And then like we all got like medical attention, had to go down to the Brewers medical spot that they have in the ballpark, get evaluated. And yeah, like people were like, I got interviewed on the local news. My other friend got interviewed. Yeah, like this is a thing where it was crazy. It was spontaneous, and I don't know. It's like I won't see escalators the same way again. I really won't. And we were at the mall, and there was an escalator. It wasn't even moving. It was essentially stairs. And I thought, like, okay, am I really going to have, like, any flashback type of moment? Like, I think I'm fine. Like, my leg ended up being all right. I was fine physically. And then for whatever reason, like, I was almost joking at first, like, oh, there's an escalator. But then when I was on it,
you were kind of...
There was something that... It was weird. Like, I almost felt a little spacey, like...
Like you were like on edge, being on
a little bit, and like I was going down really slow. Yeah. And I'm a fast walker. Like I can go down like I just move. Like I don't like going slow, but for whatever reason, I kind of did take every step like very gingerly, and I noticed the guy behind me. The guy behind me, he was like waiting for me to kind of speed up, but I couldn't in that moment.
Yeah.
And that was weird. Like I don't know. I don't want to make like light of that, but I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It really was, but yeah. So I don't know.
I know. So I ended up calling you just to like make sure you were fine, and I think just like being able to hear you, I was like, okay, he's good. Mm-hmm. Because obviously when things like that happen, like you don't know how serious it is. Like yes, it could have malfunctioned. Like people could have like piled on top, but like seeing a picture of someone like in a neck brace and stuff, I was like, oh man, like this was a serious thing, you know. And obviously I just feel like you got lucky and you didn't end up getting hurt. And selfishly in my head I was like, okay, like I'm glad you're okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's horrible, but like I was able to kind of like, okay, he's fine, he's good.
Yeah. And I mean honestly, yeah, I'm lucky I didn't get any bad injuries, but I'm very fortunate and happy I didn't, because other people obviously did.
Right. And now like knowing and like seeing who actually got injured from your even from like your coworkers, like that's such a scary situation, and hopefully I think some of them are still waiting to even like be seen and checked out, and it sucks, but
yeah, no doubt. And I think too, like hopefully, you know, all the people, like when I was in that Brewers medical, I don't even know, whatever, like where they treated people, like there was a 17-year-old kid, like around a teenage kid. I mean, the kid was crying. Yeah. There was one person all bloodied up. Like it wasn't good. Yeah. And very fortunate.
And it's like, you see these things sometimes on social media, like these crazy videos of stuff like this, and you don't really ever think that it could happen. So honestly, like even that made me kind of realize like it really could, like anything could happen at any time. Like you just never know.
Out of all the moments that I could have been on that like it literally could have malfunctioned after I got off it, before I got off it, but no, I was literally on it.
You could have not even been on it. How many escalators are there in this giant stadium that can fit what? Or
there's
how many
ramps,
people?
There's
How many
stairs.
people fit in this giant stadium?
Great question. I don't even know what that ballpark holds.
But it's like a baseball stadium, so like, can you imagine the amount of people, and the fact that it was you guys that were on it is so crazy.
I know. Out of all of them that could have gone down.
Not that like you wish it on anyone else, but I'm just saying like the chances of that are so crazy to me.
It is. It is completely crazy, but it happened, and yeah, I mean,
I know everyone kept messaging me like, how's Nick doing, and I was like, okay, you got some scratches on you, like you're fine, but I mean there are people who aren't okay still physically. Physically good. Physically good. Mentally still working through, well, now working. Yeah,
it's crazy. But yeah, that was when you were at dinner.
Okay, baby.
I was getting eaten by escalators.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. Escalators Strike Back, the movie.
No,
not good. But yeah, I was like, I completely forgot we were going to talk about that, and maybe it's because it's been like a week, and I feel like I've talked about it like on the other podcast, the Bears podcast I do. Like again, I've been interviewed for it, and then I almost kind of forgot about it. But what I wanted to talk about too, like we teased at the top of the show, you're feeling a little lost, a little left out.
A little left out. Not left out, but we had to take my ring back to get resized. So I currently have no ring. And I keep having little mini panic attacks throughout the day where I'm like, oh my gosh, where's my ring? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's not here. And yeah, I guess I'm still getting used to not having it again.
Isn't that crazy though? Like June 15th and what is it, July 7th, that it's already become so a part of your routine, your ring, putting it on, taking it off, or like looking, taking a picture, whatever it is, that even though it's been less than a month,
I'm already attached.
You're attached, and again, you feel like you were telling me earlier, I miss my ring.
Yeah, I was looking at pictures. I was like, I miss my ring. I just want it back already. Mm-hmm. And it makes me kind of sad because my birthday's coming up, and I was like, oh, I won't get to have my ring for my birthday. And then our anniversary is on the 20th, so I was like, I don't even know if I'll have it for our anniversary. So it's just kind of sad. Oh, but yesterday we went to the fair, and it was so sweet. Someone stopped us to say congrats on the engagement.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's so cool that someone that we don't know can know about that. And obviously it's because I think he told you he listened to
the Bears
podcast and stuff. So it was just cool.
Yeah. Well, we first like interacted the first time, and then I think he was coming around. He's like, oh, also congrats on the engagement, it was really cool to see.
So nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It was kind of funny, but in my head, I was like, because I'm so aware of the fact that I don't have my ring right now. I was like, I wonder if he thinks you're with someone else right now. Because I don't have my ring.
Oh,
because I feel like that's not the same girl.
No, that would be, nope. Same one with or without the ring. But you'll get it back.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I'll get it
hopefully
back.
I think they said around like 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I was telling you that I got so attached to even the sizer because I've been wearing that with the ring every single day.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that I won't have it on there, I'm like, oh, I kind of miss the sizer too.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird how that happens.
No, it is. And again, I'm glad that we are able to get it to the proper size and that you can wear without feeling like it's just gonna
fall off. Yeah. But speaking of that, we have started to kind of think about first stages of very, very beginning stages of wedding planning. So my brother just recently got married, and something that he's like mentioned to us is you want to kind of get like your guest size. Not like, but you want to like have an idea of like a guest list so you can see which venues to start looking at.
Smart way to look at it.
So that's kind of what we're going to start to do. But other than that, like first thing on my list is like, I want to have an engagement party. And so we'll see when that happens. But I do want to have some sort of like engagement party.
Yeah, no, it's a start. We need to start like this process now before things get really hectic later in the year. But I called my mom earlier today. I'm like, Mom, help me think of like
your side,
my side of the guest list, and then we can obviously she puts down some names, and we'll add names from both sides. We can edit things down or see what that looks like, and then once we get like a rough number, then we can really start looking at venues and. That whole process. So,
I'm so excited.
It's starting right now.
Yeah. And we obviously don't have a date either and stuff because I think that also you have to see what the venues that you end up liking like have available. So
true. Yep. It's a process.
It's a process. And I'm excited to get started, but also there's a lot that goes into it. So I'm trying to like get all the tips I can get.
Yeah, and we have a bunch of people, too, that have gone through this process or will be going through this process that I'm sure we will lean on as we continue to, go through it.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll see. I guess we'll keep you guys updated on that. It's just exciting that, like we had our little moment of enjoying it, but now I'm like, okay, we have to like realistically start to think about some things. And
yeah, we shouldn't, and we're not putting things off. Just to, not that we're not enjoying like being engaged or whatever, but it's like, hey, let's be productive. We can still enjoy it and also think about like those bigger picture things that we're going to have to get to.
You're going to marry me.
You always say that. Yes, I am. Well, I'm going to close it out for episode 33.
And are we going to do grocery shopping?
Are we going to do grocery shopping?
What are we doing after this?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
What are you thinking?
It was just funny to me because we need to go get some stuff. But if you made it to this, the end of this podcast, you get a little funny thing that happened yesterday was we need to go do groceries.
Oh yeah, we need to bring this up. That's so.
We need to go do groceries. But yesterday Nick was trying to figure out what to eat for breakfast, and we had like bread and we had like almond butter and bananas. So he's like, I'm gonna make like almond butter toast with bananas or whatever.
I'll say this, I don't think I've ever made that in my life.
No, but I was like, that's a good idea.
I'm like, that is a good idea.
That's a good breakfast, like some protein, some fruit. Anyways, so
I'm glad you brought this up because I completely forgot about this.
Like, too. Don't read this out loud, but look how I put it.
Go.
So he's making it, and then I was like, you should drizzle some like honey on it or put some cinnamon on it. And you're like, oh, good idea.
Grab that cinnamon.
And keep in mind, actually, he had used the last bit of almond butter too.
Oh, I did. Yep. Using all of up the the supplies there, but I go into the pantry, open it up,
grab the cinnamon,
pour a little bit on there.
No, you start pouring on there.
I poured one of those. I had 2 pieces of toast with almond butter and bananas on it. One of them got all that cinnamon.
And then I turn around and I look at him. I was like, "Are you sure that's cinnamon?" Just because I didn't recognize the little bottle.
And you know what? I almost felt like insult. What do you mean? Do you think is that cinnamon? I'm like, what do you mean? Of course it's cinnamon. And then I slightly turn the bottle. Cumin. That is cumin. And not, it looks so similar to cinnamon. Like it's literally the same freaking bottle. Like I feel like
it's the same color, maybe, but not the same bottle. But that's why I knew
exactly the same.
No, it didn't.
And I didn't even bother to read that it was cinnamon because I knew it was cinnamon because of how it looked, the color, the bottle, everything.
No. The color, sure. The bottle, no. That's why I knew. That's why I asked you, are you sure that's cinnamon?
I'm sure there's cinnamon bottles that come in that same exact like green wrapping and it says cinnamon and not cumin. I put cumin. I mean that, and I ate it still. I didn't care. It tasted weird. It
tasted like ground beef.
It tasted like ground beef, and then I had to get the cinnamon and drizzle that thing with cinnamon, then with honey to kind of mask the cumin.
I can't believe you still ate it, but I just thought that was so funny because when you looked back and like just the face, I wish I could have taken a video of when you realized it wasn't cinnamon.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm like, I've always I think made fun of my parents for doing stuff like, how did you not know that was that ingredient? Like, who makes that mistake? Me.
Yeah.
Just check before you start making things. Just make sure you check what they are. Even if you're 100% sure that you think an ingredient is the ingredient you're picking out.
It's just like the funniest. I feel like you and seasonings just don't mix. There was one time.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What
I'm talking about when you I forget what you did with the pepper, with the black pepper, and like all the little peppercorns fell out, and we were fighting them for like the rest of the month. Like, oh, there's another pepper.
I was like literally like turning the pepper, and then it just blew up.
Just you and seasonings don't mix.
I don't know, but that was my cumin cinnamon story. I'm glad you brought it up though, because
I thought it was funny.
That was hilarious, and I will never do it again, or we'll see.
Well, that does it for this episode.
33 of
episode
Couples
33.
Coverage.
Thanks for listening. I don't have anything else to say.
No. I got you. Make sure to subscribe and like this episode of Couples Coverage on YouTube, and then also share the episode link with a friend or a family member or whoever you think will enjoy this podcast. And if you're an audio listener, we are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so make sure to go like and subscribe there as well. Check out our Instagram. Check out the TikTok. We're going to write it down on the calendar to make little social shorts, clips. So go follow us on there as well. Again, appreciate everyone for watching. You can go watch really any of the other episodes. See how much better we've gotten at this. From episode 1 to episode 33. We're pros now.
You think so?
We're getting there. Stacking the days. But thank you, everybody, for watching. We will catch up with you next week. Adios.
Bye.